You're watching SKN Newsline TV live on sknnewsline.com.
Hello, St. Kitts and Nevis. Amira Huneveld from St. Martin here. My team and I are excited to be visiting you from April 24th until May 5th to introduce the Enforcer Fit Active Support Brace and SoulFit insoles. So pay attention to sknnewsline.com and voiceofthecaribbean.net. You can give them a call at 668-9013. See you soon!
The Cable, we provide much more than just the fastest and most reliable internet service. We fill the homes of all our customers with joy and laughter. Our services connect friends and keep families together. With the most extensive fiber optic network, we ensure that you can enjoy the things you love with the people you love. Whether it's catching up with family or old friends, or simply just enjoying your favorite TV shows, people choose the Cable because quality shows.
Why read the news when you can watch it? Introducing SKN Newsline, the Federation's only online TV news platform. SKN Newsline is an online TV news platform covering news in St. Kitts and Nevis. We provide a daily and accurate news on the big stories and stories of interest that other media outlets have ignored. You can watch SKN Newsline on our website, www.sknnewsline.com, or Facebook page at www.fb.com/SKN Newsline, and also subscribe to our SKN Newsline YouTube channel. SKN Newsline, your world, your news.
Now you can have SKN Newsline on the go. Introducing SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Search SKN Newsline in the Google Play Store. Download the app free and stay up to date with TV news in St. Kitts and Nevis in the palm of your hands. With this app, you can watch your news reports, watch our live news feed on SKN Newsline TV, engage with us and other app users in the chat room, look at our special features, send us news tips, and call us directly. It's news on the go. The SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Download it free today. The New Birth Dance Ministry presents 2018 dance concert under the theme God Loves Movement on Friday, April 27th, 2018 at the New Birth Gospel Tabernacle on the Island Main Road in Cayon. Start time is 7:15 p.m. Admission, adults $20, children $10. MCs Sister Marsha from Sugar City 90.3 and Evangelist Jerry. Also featuring performances from Tehila and Nikwan. April 27th at 7:15 p.m. Mark the date. Don't be late. Caribbean leaders have commended British Prime Minister Theresa May for apologizing for the Windrush saga and for committing to bring redress to those affected. Children of Windrush immigrants, Caribbean nationals who before 1978 migrated to the UK in search for a better life, were suddenly, over recent weeks, being deported to the countries of their birth. Many of them have never been to the Caribbean, and despite spending years in Britain building their lives, their livelihoods and family, they are now left with nothing to show for it.
How much we value the contribution that has been made by Commonwealth citizens who've made their life here in the UK to the United Kingdom. I particularly want to acknowledge that as we come together and celebrate the Commonwealth and the ties between us and the connections between us at Chobham. And particularly the Windrush generation helped to build the country that we are today. And I want to dispel any impression that my government is in some sense clamping down on Commonwealth citizens, particularly those in the Caribbean who built a life here. I take this issue very seriously. The Home Secretary apologised to the House of Commons yesterday for any anxiety caused, and I want to apologise to you today.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, who is in the UK, where the leaders of the Commonwealth countries are meeting, commended the British Prime Minister for her apology and commitment to fix the problem.
It is regrettable that the circumstance which we now find ourselves was allowed to get to this far. But nonetheless, we want to consecrate the future, and we hope that these troubling issues that are impacting the migrant population would not surface again.
To give a perspective on this matter, here is a little background to Windrush.
2018 marks 70 years since HMT Empire Windrush docked in the Essex town of Tilbury, carrying 492 Caribbean passengers. Encouraged by a newspaper advertisement offering cheap transport, hundreds of Jamaicans made the trip to the country they had fought for in the Second World War in the hope of finding work. The UK faced a labour shortage following the devastation wrought by the war, and the passing of the British Nationality Act in 1948 gave Caribbean and other Commonwealth peoples British citizenship and full rights of entry and settlement. The images of West Indians disembarking the Windrush have come to symbolise the beginning of British multiculturalism, with those who arrived in the UK in the late 1940s often referred to as the Windrush generation. This wave of newcomers faced social and economic exclusion upon arrival and were regularly denied private employment and accommodation on the basis of race. Over the following years, the Caribbean community often faced racial prejudice and violence, and during the 1960s and 1970s, the government passed new legislation to impose stricter immigration controls. The 1971 Immigration Act restricted primary immigration to the UK, but allowed Commonwealth citizens already in the country indefinite leave to remain. However, the Home Office did not issue paperwork confirming the status of those who arrived before 1971, leaving a number of the Windrush generation in 2018 facing the prospect of deportation from the country they have called home for decades.
All the Caribbean leaders, including the Jamaican and Antiguan Prime Minister, have welcomed the decision by Prime Minister Theresa May. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. Guess what? There's a new electronics store in town. It's Smart Electronics, your one-stop shop for all electronic items, including phones, laptops, computers, speakers, TVs, and accessories. It's conveniently located at Port Zante opposite the food court, St. Kitts. We carry the top name brand electronics such as Samsung, Apple, JBL, Bose, Canon, LG, Dell, HP, and so much more. Check out our pre-Valentine's Day sale starting early February 2nd, offering extraordinary rates on all your electronic needs. So you really don't need to go to St. Martin anymore. Head straight to Smart Electronics at Port Zante instead. Contact us at 466-4271 or email sales@dutyfreesmartelectronics.com. Open Monday to Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. The team from rural St. Kitts is again proving to be a giant slayer as Frashcast Saddlers United shocked title contenders SL Horsford St. Paul's 2-1 on Saturday night at the Warner Park as action continued in the National Bank Premier League. Despite creating several opportunities to score, St. Paul's failed to get on the mark for most of the match. Coming out of halftime, Saddlers came out like a team with a mission, with an early goal in the 49th minute as Fernando Williams forces his way into a fast break and taking his shot with composure past the St. Paul's custodian. A defensive error from St. Paul's due to what appeared to be a lack of focus earned a second goal in the 74th minute for Saddlers from Steve Barnes. St. Paul's got a consolation goal from the penalty spot, which was converted by Daryl Challenger. Captain of the Saddlers United team, Unique Eddy, said that after the match, the way that they played St. Paul's is a blueprint for future successes against the big teams in the league.
It's a massive win, we've been fighting for most of the season. We've been losing some games by one goal, and we thought that we came out today to try to stifle St. Paul's. I mean, everybody knows St. Paul's is one of the most strategic teams, and we just said that we're going to come out, block up the midfield for them, make it hard for them to make any chance. And it paid off. We try to press them as high as possible, and we got goals because of pressing. So good luck.
Do you think this is a blueprint for the team going forward in terms of the remaining matches of the season?
Well, yes. Coming into this game, we were ninth, and in a game where we thought that we could get some points, get some movement up the table. This is the first game we played in about a 3-4 week span, and we thought that we could come out, start a blueprint, as you said, start a blueprint for the rest of the round, and hopefully we get out of the zone that we are in and show persons how good Saddlers football team can really be.
Coach of St. Paul's, Austin Huggins, said his team must remain focused for the entire match in order to get the right results. He said they created enough chances to win the game, but just failed to put the ball in the back of the net.
You don't score, you don't win. As simple as that. We dominated the game, had maximum possession, but the ultimate is to get the ball in the net. We were not able to finish the many chances that we had, and therefore we were not successful. I won't let this game be any downer for the players. We're going to work hard still. We're going to come out and we're going to continue to get points. I can guarantee that we're going to be in the final four for sure.
Meanwhile, earlier on Saturday, Saul Island Auto Supply's Connery FC ran riot over TGE Diebe Eagles, winning 7-0. Orlando Mitchum scored 2 goals in the 15th and 90th minute. Glenroy Samuel in the 24th minute. Tijani Fai in the 31st minute. Errol O'Loughlin in the 38th minute. Jean-Gardy Petitfer in the 77th minute. And Brian Morrison in the 2nd minute of stoppage time.
Hello, St. Kitts and Nevis. Amira Hunevel from St. Martin here. My team and I are excited to be visiting you from April 24th until May 5th to introduce the Enforcer Fit Active Support Brace and Soul Fits insoles. So pay attention to sknnewsline.com and voiceofthecaribbean.net. You can give them a call at 668-9013. See you soon!
A coaching change is being praised for a renewed focus and a 3-1 win over the Elko Limited St. Peters in the National Bank Premier League on Sunday night. Hobson Enterprises Garden Hotspurs were on the receiving end of that result, and according to Captain Hassani Fleming, getting back their old coach Elvis Pepe Isaac is helping the team to play fluent football in the final round of the season before the playoffs. Their previous coach, Sinclair Morris, was relieved of his duties just before the resumption of the Premier League after the Easter break.
Well, our focus was really on pressing the ball and winning it in every time we lose it. Less than 5 seconds, we got to get it back. And you could see we pull out down, we win the game. Results were shown.
Now, what were you guys thinking, to bounce back from the loss last week to get the win tonight?
Well, we didn't really feel that bad about the loss last week, knowing that we get a new coach. We get back our old coach. But the main focus was getting back together, you understand? Just building back the chemistry, because we lost it and now the chemistry is back. I could tell you it's just full force going down straight to the 4.
Do you think you guys will make the final 4?
We will be there for sure.
Scoring for Spurs, Kennedy Isles scoring a penalty in the 39th minute, and Reuven Wigley in the 50th minute to give Spurs a 2-0 lead. Tequan Tyrrell got one back for St. Peters in the 65th minute, but Giovanni Lake made sure the victory was sealed for Spurs in the 86th minute. In the night's earlier match, Rams Village Superstars defeated St. Thomas Trinity United 2-0 to maintain their position at the top of the league. Scoring for Village, Tahir Hanley in the 38th minute and Travis Summersall in the 68th minute. Anthony Grant of St. Thomas Trinity United was issued a red card in the 63rd minute. The National Bank Premier League continues on Tuesday with a match at 6 p.m. St. Thomas Trinity United versus Elko Limited St. Peters at the Warner Park, and at 8 p.m. Diebe Eagles versus Winner's Circle Newtown United, also at the Warner Park.
Hello, St. Kitts and Nevis. Amira Hunevel from St. Martin here. My team and I are excited to be visiting you from April 24th until May 5th to introduce the Enforcer Fit Active Support Brace and Soul Fits insoles. So pay attention to sknnewsline.com and voiceofthecaribbean.net. You can give them a call at 668-9013. See you soon!
The U.S. State Department has made an unflattering assessment of St. Kitts and Nevis as it relates to money laundering and drug trafficking. In its latest 2018 International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, which was published in March, the State Department said SKN remains susceptible to corruption and money laundering because of the volume of narcotics trafficking around the islands. The department added that the growth of its offshore banking sector, coupled with its unusually strong bank secrecy laws, also remains problematic. The report continued that the financial oversight in Nevis remains problematic due to SKN allowing the creation of anonymous accounts, strong bank secrecy laws, and overall lack of transparency of beneficial ownership of legal entities. Nevis is a desirable location for criminals to conceal proceeds, the report said, because of the ambiguous regulatory framework regarding customer due diligence. But the government, in a statement issued on Monday, said the reports made, quote, grossly misleading, erroneous, and offensive statements, end of quote. The government labeled as false the claims relating to banking and money laundering, saying that the government, and I quote, continues to operate in a transparent manner and has in all its interactions with the United States Department cooperated in providing all relevant information, end of quote. The government said the report's mention of anonymous accounts, unusually strong bank secrecy laws, and overall lack of transparency of beneficial ownership of legal entities in the Federation is erroneous. In response, the government pointed to Section 69 of the Financial Services Implementation of Industry Standards Regulations 2011, which prohibits anonymously operated accounts and requires regulated businesses to conduct due diligence as well as record their findings in writing and keep such findings available. The Financial Services Regulatory Commission, which is responsible for the monitoring of the sole international bank for anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism purposes, has conducted comprehensive on-site examinations to ensure compliance with the AML and CFT legislation. The Nevis International Banking Ordinance, Nevis International Banking Regulations, FATF recommendations, and the Basel Core principles according to the government. The official statement said that it is also disingenuous to imply that there has been, and I quote, growth in the offshore banking sector, end of quote, in St. Kitts and Nevis, adding that, and I quote, since the passage of the international banking legislation in Nevis in 1996, only one international bank has ever been granted a license to conduct international banking business from or within Nevis, end of quote. The government said it continues to work assiduously to demonstrate that it is, and I quote, committed to abiding by the same exacting standards that the United States of America and other long-standing allies adhere to as responsible members of the international community, end of quote. The opposition had slammed the government on the weekend for not making a statement on the matter, even though the report was published last month. Last year, the U.S. State Department had also issued a damning report of St. Kitts and Nevis and other islands in the Caribbean. I am Chantel Rochester for SKN Newsline.
My name is Sylvester Bell. I'm a Chief Conservation Officer within the Department of Environment. Part of my responsibilities include the coordination of national efforts to implement our international environmental agreements, in particular the Convention on Biological Diversity and the Basel Convention on Hazardous Waste. As a conservation officer, this is in line with our theme for the department to conserve, preserve and to protect our natural resources. We want to conserve so that we use our resources adequately and wisely. We want to preserve that the resources remain healthy and useful for future generations, and to protect our resources from abuse.
Hi, welcome to the Central Forest Reserve. My name is Woodard Williams and I'm a park ranger. We are currently on the Peter Manning Trail, where we protect, conserve our biodiversity and keep the natural form of our environment. We protect 15,000 acres of land, which is consisted of 7 different trails: Peter Manning, Black River, Lawrence Stephen Cave, just to name a few. We also give educational tours to schools, colleges, the locals, the community, just to keep them aware of our environment and how important it is. Remember, protect and conserve.